Hello there, Schwoke Lords. I'm just here to tell you my new song, Dry Spell, is out now wherever you're streaming music. Go check that out. At the end of this episode, you can listen to the song in its entirety, so stay tuned for that and don't touch the dial. This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses, where comfort meets innovation, giving you the perfect night's sleep you've been dreaming of. Are you tired of tossing and turning all night, struggling to find a comfortable position? Look no further than Novilla Mattresses, the ultimate sleep solution designed with your comfort in mind. Experience the luxury of a good night's sleep with Novilla's advanced mattress technology. Their mattresses are crafted using the finest materials, providing the perfect balance of support and softness. Whether you prefer a plush feel or a firmer surface, Novilla has a mattress that caters to your unique sleep preference. But what sets Novilla apart from the rest? It's their commitment to innovation and quality. Each mattress is thoughtfully engineered to provide optimal spinal alignment, reducing pressure points and ensuring you wake up feeling refreshed and rejuvenated every morning. Say goodbye to restless nights and hello to blissful sleep with Novilla's cutting-edge cooling technology. Their mattresses are designed to regulate temperature, keeping you cool and comfortable throughout the night. No more waking up in a sweat, just pure, uninterrupted sleep. Worried about allergens and dust mites? Don't be. Novilla mattresses are hypoallergenic and resistant to common allergens, ensuring a healthier sleep environment for you and your loved ones. And here's the best part. Novilla is committed to affordability. They believe that everyone deserves a great night's sleep without breaking the bank. That's why their mattresses are competitively priced, giving you the best value for your money. But don't just take our word for it. Join the thousands of satisfied customers who have already made the switch to Novilla. Even when your mom comes to my place, just know she's getting a great night's sleep, among other things. Experience the difference for yourself and discover what it truly means to sleep like you've never slept before. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% off any purchase you make through Novilla directly. Ready to transform your sleep experience? Visit their website today and choose the Novilla mattress that suits your needs. Your journey to a better night's sleep starts now with Novilla mattresses. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're ready to go and your heart's left in doubt, don't give up on your faith. Love comes to those who believe it, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Hello, what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to yet another episode of Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. I am bloated, or better known as your host, Schweezy, or your mom probably knows me, mostly as the Foreplay King.
Got it!
So welcome to the show, folks. It's been 1 week since you listened to me.
This is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
Welcome to the show. I was at Dollar General yesterday. Don't ask me why I was at Dollar General, folks, okay? It's not that interesting of a story, but I feel weird going to Dollar General. And also, can we also note about Dollar General, for the most part, that the bigger the city is, the worse the Dollar General is. Like, small towns, try that in a small town.
This is the type of guy you get.
They have a lot more pride in their Dollar Generals, because Dollar General also, brilliant idea to be like, like how every small town ever has nothing. Yeah, and you have to drive somewhere to get to something. Yeah, let's just bring it here, buddy. But yeah, no, I went to, there's one in Nashville. It's a Dollar General marketplace. So it's just like a bigger Dollar General for the most part with more groceries. And it was terrible. It was a terrible experience. Every time I went in there, I hated it. And then you get into the line and people don't know how to check you out. There was no self-checkouts back then. And last time I was there, and it's like, oh, this guy's like, he swipes a few things and then stops, continues his conversation that he has with the customer, and then continue there. He couldn't do both at the same time. Usually, if you are a cashier, you do figure out how to, generally talk and do your job at the same time. Most people know how to do that. This guy did not. And it was like the case, and it wasn't just him. I'm pretty sure it was like multiple employees, or whatever. So, anyways, though, Dollar General, in bigger places, Dollar General sucks, but small towns, Dollar General's pretty good. Anyways, though, I was at Dollar General, and I saw a pregnancy test on the ground in the parking lot. Now, for those of you who don't know how pregnancy tests work is, I've actually never taken a pregnancy test, so I'm just going to guess what happens. You pee on a stick. I know you pee on a stick, and then it tells you if you had baby urine in you or if you do not have baby urine in you. Maybe. Or there's something in your urine that'll tell you, hey, there's a thing inside of you growing, happened to me, but that's called a kidney stone for me. For you ladies out there, it could be a child. But anyways, though, it was on the ground. It was like one of those like clear blue pregnancy tests too, which look like the higher quality ones too. So like they wanted to be sure. So whoever this was, or like, I gotta be sure and know completely that I am pregnant or I am not pregnant. You could go to a doctor. I guess usually it's I'm late. That's the first sign, and then usually take the gas station pregnancy test. They used to sell like dollar pregnancy tests at Walmart. Fun wedding gifts, everyone. Fun wedding gifts. It's embarrassing. It's nice. This is off topic, but it's nice if you're invited. I know a lot of Christians, and I've been to a lot of Christian weddings. And the nice thing about the Christian weddings is, you can get sex stuff because you're like, oh, you buy them. They're gonna need condoms. Obviously, they're married now, so they can have sexual intercourse.
That's my hole. That's where it spits.
And so they're like, oh no, my family saw that I have condoms. My family now knows we be fucking. It's like parents go from don't have sex to I want grandkids. Oh, they always want that as fast as possible. It's always there's a weird switch one day and it happens. Anyways, back to Dollar General. The pregnancy test was negative, in case anyone was wondering. There was a negative pregnancy test at Dollar General. And now most of us had to have been thinking, like, this sounds like a day of celebration. Because it looks like a day of celebration. A negative pregnancy test on the ground of a parking lot of a Dollar General. It should be a celebration. I just have a feeling, there's those couples who they plan out having a baby, those psychos. And sometimes like they try and they're having a hard time conceiving. And, I'm just going to kind of make a guess that people who are ready to be parents aren't going to Dollar General, pissing on the test in the parking lot, and then leaving the negative test out. I just don't feel like anyone who wants to be a parent is probably not doing that, just in my opinion. But I like to see that as a sign of celebration. In my world, a negative pregnancy test is a cause for celebration. And, because, some people are trying. And, like, for those people who are trying to have a baby and they're having a hard time conceiving, you're having unprotected sex with no repercussions. That's a good gift to have. Like, we might have a baby, I don't know. Well, like, we're out of condoms. She's like, let's risk it, and it's a good gamble to make, most guys just get snipped and you're like, all right, now I'm going to be busting nut. But it's not like a real nut though, it's like you're busting a nut, but it's not a real nut. I'm still in like good boy hour time, aren't I? Demonetized. All right. But yeah, no, welcome to the show. I'm working on new music. And so that's always exciting. I did a thing recently.
What?
The first button is bad, I think, on this one. I've been doing this thing. I've been writing music. And you remember in the movie That Thing You Do, where, like, the song That Thing You Do was originally, like, a ballad? And then the drummer, I think his name was, like, Guy, wasn't it? He was like, what's your name, Guy? I'm like, okay. You know, like, as, like, a young person now who doesn't hear the name Guy ever, you're just like, what's your name, Guy? It's like, what'd you name your dog? A canine? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't have a fucking name. What other done? Restroom. Hey, here's my child restroom. Like, I don't know. Guy is a weird, like, it's not the worst name out there. Hunter is the worst name out there. It's just it's just like, you know, enjoy going hunting as much as you want, or I don't know, maybe you hunt humans, you know, that's none of my business. But, you know, just like Hunter, you know, you've never met a smart guy named Hunter, you know? Like, so I just feel like when picking a child's name, like, you know, you gotta think, like, about their future too, you know, like, people are naming, like, their kids Josh. Have you ever met a Josh? Like, we're never gonna have a Josh as a president, okay? You know, when you name your kid Josh, you're making sure they don't grow up to be anything good. Like, you know, I hear the name, like, everyone is naming their kid, like, Hazley all the time, like, with the dumb fucking name and stuff like that. Like, you're just letting that child grow up to be a dumb bitch, because, like, I don't think there's any Hazley out there that's like, you're not gonna hear Dr. Hazley, whatever last name is. You're not gonna hear Dr. Hazley. That's not gonna be a name you hear of. Dr. Josh, you know, like, if your doctor's name is Dr. Josh, which show? Oh, I was watching Ugly Betty, and shows, like, every doctor I go to that goes by their first name are people I get people I get hard drugs from. I'm like, that's good to know. So if their name is actually Dr. Josh, there's probably a Dr. Josh out there. And if he does, that's the guy. If you just need a prescription, you know, you're like, I don't really need it, but would you mind prescribing it anyways? Or subscribing it anyways? You know, and stuff like that. How did I even get there? So I'm on, That Thing You Do. We're talking about that guy. So I had a song, it was at 150 BPM. So I don't know, just if you don't understand BPM, type in 150 BPM. And I guess you could just type into Google and, like, an online metronome will pop up, tell you that tempo. I raised it to 170, and the song is poppin'. Poppin'. How am I going to say poppin'? This song is poppin'. That's good, you know. I fucking love having a soundboard back, dude. Especially this one. Anyways, though, check out that. I have a song, Dry Spell. It's out now. It's been almost probably around like 2 months now. And so, very cool. I like hearing what people say about that. So that's really awesome. So go check that out. My music, I have more music on there as well, wherever you stream music at. So definitely go check that out. My social media, make sure you follow me on social media at TheSchweezy. TheSchweezy. That's how you spell it. It's spelled like the show, dude. If you don't know how to spell I don't know, man. I don't know how to. This show is not here to help you if you do not know how to spell you know. What else? You know, here. So yeah, check out social media. We do have a Cash App and a PayPal page. It's in the Linktree link in our bio, or in the description of this video and episode, where you can go ahead and financially support us any way you possibly can. So that's cool. Or someone better than me once said,
cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
So that's pretty cool. And then you can do all the free shit. Make sure you're checking out our YouTube. If you're listening to the show, make sure you are checking out our YouTube page. We are on the YouTube page. We share highlights. I'm posting shorts. They're called shorts on YouTube. So I'm posting the shorts on it, and I'm getting a lot more comments. A lot of y'all are mean, okay? You know, you guys don't have to be so fucking mean. Someone commented me, like, you hear from a man, now hear from a woman. And they told me to lose weight, which is weird because only men really tell people to lose weight. I've never heard a woman tell someone to lose weight, unless they're like a doctor, and they're like, hey, you need to lose weight. You know, like, or they're, or whatever, you know. Stuff like that. And then I went to the profile, and it was a dog. You know, I'm like, there's a lot of fraud going on with this. I should report the account for fraud just because it's not a real dog. I'm also gonna break a secret to everyone right now. I'm gonna break a secret to you. If you're following a dog on Instagram, that dog is not running the Instagram account. Okay. The dog's not running the Instagram account. A human is. So dogs can't run social media. Only humans can run social media. I'm sorry to break that reality for some of you, but at the end of the day, life goes on. And I guess I'm going to go on with it, okay? And if you're listening to the audio platforms, give us a review or 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1 star rating. Honky, we love butt drugs, everything. Everything you know. Anyways, though, we're jumping into previous week right now. What is previous week right now? You may be asking. Well, we're just going over last week's news. And I got to tell you, there wasn't that much. I don't want to talk about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I hate football. Well, I don't hate football. I just think football is so I don't understand how people enjoy it. You're like, all right, so we're telling me we're going to sit down for an hour and we're going to, and basically something's going to happen for 2 seconds, and then we're going to wait for 5 minutes. And you're like, we're barely moving, folks. I don't know how people think it's exciting. Maybe if they could just, murder people, maybe gladiatorial style, that'd be pretty fucking rad. If football could actually be, I don't know, maybe that's why I don't like sports, just because it's the same thing over and over again, At least when you watch video games, something new actually does happen, So, yeah, interesting. So anyways, though, this is the news. Let's get into our first article from TMZ.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Britney Spears fans dance on Jamie Lynn's Dancing with the Stars grave. Karma is a bitch. Fans of Britney Spears are doing a lot of celebrating now that her sister Jamie Lynn is off Dancing with the Stars, with some even claiming her removal means they'll finally start watching. As we reported, Jamie Lynn got the boot Tuesday night in the week 2 of the competition, something that came as a shock to the judges, as well as JLS and her dance partner, Alan Burston. Well, fans of Britney are over the moon with Jamie Lynn's early removal. One person online said she thought people were going to vote for her. Babe, everyone literally hates you. Another said Jamie Lynn lacks half the talent your sister ever had. It's getting pretty brutal on X, where comments include she was destined to lose and karma is a bitch. When Alan reacted to getting kicked off of the show by simply tweeting, "Damn." Britney fans flocked to his post too, but some showed support with a side diss on Jamie Lynn. Of course, justice for Alan. You deserve an amazing partner next season. In case you forgot, social media had much of the same noise last week when Dancing with the Stars debuted, and Alan was catching heat just for being paired with her. BTW, eliminations on Dancing with the Stars are partially decided by viewers' votes, so it certainly appears pro-Britney fans organized and did their thing to nix Jamie Lynn. So, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, she isn't that favorable. And, that's also a question of why Zoe 101 got a reboot when, I don't know, it wasn't, half of them gone to jail. There's a lot more drama in regards to that cast versus, Ned's Declassified, because I know they have a podcast, and I see how they're always, they're very thirsty for attention, which, I mean, can't really blame them.
I identify as a fucking threat.
So it is weird though, because Jamie Lynn Spears, those of you who don't know, from what I can remember, she was very supportive of the conservatorship of Britney, which I'm not getting into. That stuff makes me sad. So, and then she released a book or whatever, and I don't know if anyone read that book. I didn't read the book, I didn't read it. So,
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
But, so this is just very weird. I mean, Jamie Lynn hasn't had much of a career. I follow her on Instagram. I don't know why. Sometimes you just follow people. She looks so much different from when she was younger, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm you can't figure out what was changed, when people get plastic surgery. So, Maybe the nose. I don't know. But yeah. So, and we all know. I don't know why people watch Dancing with the fucking Stars. You know, they find Dancing with the Stars. They find the most washed up, somewhat celebrity, and then they're like, you want to dance with a professional dancer in front of judges, and then it becomes a competition, and so Dancing with the Stars is already like your career is over. Like Dancing with the Stars is the exit door of your career, especially in entertainment. So just the fact that, you agreed to it. That's why I was like, Xochitl Gomez is doing it. I'm like, she doesn't need to do that. She has a whole life ahead of her. She's so young. She has a whole life ahead of her. She doesn't need to do that. But yeah, Jamie Lynn Spears, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of the exit door. And just to think you're in a competition, and if you're anywhere slightly competitive or have any perfectionist anything in your bones, like, you get out the first round of Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if I'd ever be able to recover from that. TBH. For anyone interested, I don't think I'd ever be able to recover. But and especially when it's like a popularity contest too, Same time, why would you pick someone like that people actively don't like, at least when you get old Trump politicians on Dancing with the Stars, at least they do have I imagine conservatives probably are the ones watching Dancing with the Stars, because no one I know watches them, and conservatives have all blocked me because I get drunk and harass them. So, which one do I want to do? Here it was
That's rough, buddy.
There we go. So, anyways, though, Dancing with the Stars, God's waiting room for your career. And that's the exit door for your career. One other thing. So yeah, I just can't imagine. You're just smiling and out of breath, and then you're just waiting for, just waiting to die. Whatever. Maybe winners of Dancing with the Stars, maybe they should get a career back. Maybe they just they get a career comeback. I don't know. No.
Let's go full throttle.
Okay, we're here on the article of the week, so let's, as someone would say...
Let's just jump into it.
This is from today. I just looked it up online. The internet is remembering Travis Barker and Kim Kardashian were briefly involved.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
In an alternate universe, did Travis Barker end up with Kim Kardashian instead of her sister, Kourtney Kardashian? As the sisters' feud played out on The Kardashians, fans are poring over archives, including Barker's memoir, which details his strong attraction to Kim Kardashian. All their problems just made sense, one user wrote on X. In the 2015 memoir, Can I Say, the Blink-182 drummer, who is married to and expecting a child with Kourtney Kardashian, revealed that he also had a connection with her younger sister, Kim Kardashian. Today has reached out to Kim Kardashian, Kourtney Kardashian, Paris Hilton, and Shanna Moakler for comment. At the time, Barker was dating Paris Hilton, who flew out to the rock band's tour show in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and brought along Kim Kardashian. Kim used to organize people's closets, and at the time, she was working as Paris's closet girl. He wrote in the memoir she would grab Paris's bags, put them in the closet, unpack them, put everything where Paris could find it. Barker then said he, Hilton, Kim Kardashian, and others rented bicycles and rode all over Amsterdam. Well, on their ride, he said they all got high as a kite at a coffee shop, then made their way to the Absinthe Bar in the iconic Red Light District. I kept on secretly checking out Kim, telling little Chris, I don't care if she's the closet girl, she's fucking hot. He wrote. Barker explained that he and Kim Kardashian stayed in touch after Amsterdam, but after being back in Los Angeles, he was busy struggling to heal from a broken arm before rounding out Blink-182's European tour. He wound up back on a plane to Europe and was on more drugs than ever before. Oxycontin, weed, and now booze. But the guilt settled in, and Barker said he was in a dark place, one that left asking, who was I, a father or a rock star? He went home at the time to care for his two kids, Landon and Alabama, both of whom he shares with ex-wife Shanna Moakler. Once back in California, Barker said he bought a house for the family before he and Mogler split in 2008. The singer explains his post-breakup love life in the book, which includes a detour with Kim Kardashian. When I was having some time off with Shanna, I started talking with Kim Kardashian, he said. Barker said Kim Kardashian's sex tape had just been released and she had recently broke up with Ray J. The now 42-year-old told him that she was in the initial stages of planning a reality show for her family. I respected her hustle, he wrote. The two then started hanging out, getting lunch and dinner together, as Barker described in his memoir. You might think I would be doing the worst thing with this girl because of her tapes, but it was the exact opposite of any other encounter I've had with a woman. With Kim, I wanted to be nothing but a gentleman to her, he wrote. It was so weird. Barker detailed their time together, using her in ads for his company, swimming at his house, watching 4th of July fireworks together, visiting Kim Kardashian and her family at their clothing store. We'd be really sweet around each other like little kids, and then when we were apart, she'd call me and say, I want to see you again, he wrote, adding that he'd respond, me too. I want to see myself too. He and Mogler started talking again, reunited one more time. He wrote, but he really wanted to see Kim. According to Barker, Mogler found out about his relationship with Kim Kardashian and poured a drink on Kim at a party. But Barker and Kim Kardashian remained platonic. Kim and I never touched each other, he wrote. It just wasn't meant to be. Years later, in 2020, Barker and Kourtney Kardashian, now 44, out to a movie. She explained on the Kardashians, though the older sister had been interested in the drummer long before they started dating. In February 2021, the two became Instagram official, with Kourtney Kardashian sharing a photo of the couple holding hands in the car. Barker then shared the image of on his story with a heart. Kourtney Kardashian recounted their first kiss in The Kardashians, which arose during a movie night in 2020. In the same episode, Kim Kardashian commented on the relationship, saying, Kourtney has just been in this amazing relationship. It's like first time I've seen her happy. I'm so happy for this win for her. She really deserves it, Kim said. Barker proposed 8 months after their Instagram debut in October 2021. The two were married in May 2022. In June, Kourtney Kardashian announced her pregnancy at Barker's Blink-182 concert, holding up a sign from the crowd that read, Travis, I'm pregnant. So, interesting story, but, like, I don't know, like, I think this is very much like a story I think someone wants spicy details, but there really weren't any. Like, what was it? So we got to talk about, like, this is pre-2008, so this is a minute ago, and, like, Paris Hilton was popular, where Paris Hilton, when at her peak, this is Paris Hilton at her peak. Now she's like a normal person. Now she's like married, and she's like, babe, just get a taco from Taco Bell. Like, that's Paris Hilton now. So, do you think? I don't know. I kind of feel like. I think anything with Kim and Travis would just be, they were interested in each other and they talked for a little bit. Like, I think that's it, and I think timing in relationships does have to line up with someone, for it to even, like, work out for the most part. So timing just didn't seem to work out, like, he was dating another chick. He was on a ton of drugs and stuff like that. And I think Kim just had her sex tape leaked and was developing a reality show with her family. So, it was probably just the wrong time for each other. But, it is interesting when, you meet people who work, like, it's like, me and your sister had a thing for a minute, but, like, it didn't really work out, but, like, we're civil with each other, and then you end up with the sister, I'm watching Ugly Betty. I'm at the part where Daniel is dating the Connor's ex-fiance. Wilhelmina's dating Connor and stuff like that. So, it's weird, but, a lot of things, could work out. So, but anyways, I'm just happy the baby. And can we talk about how iconic it was when Kourtney held up the Travis I'm Pregnant? Because that's a throwback to the All the Small Things music video, where they parodied a bunch of other things. So, always cool. And they're 44. Why don't they do a plus 40? They should do a plus 44. I mean, plus 44 was just Blink-182 with Matt Skiba, Blink-182. I think I think that's the closest we'd get to a plus 44 in a while. So yeah.
Man proposes and God disposes.
So yeah. On to our last article. The Drew Barrymore Show writers decline to return.
That's rough, buddy.
From The Hollywood Reporter, the Drew Barrymore Show is once again readying its return, though a trio of WGA writers have chosen not to return to their old gig. Barrymore found herself in hot water last month when she announced that her daytime talk show would make its fourth season debut without its striking writers. A week later, after Barrymore faced backlash and at least a few panic guest cancellations, she revealed that she'd be reversing course, pausing the show's return until the WGA strike is concluded. But with the WGA strike now over, the show is set to come back October 16th, and those writers, Chelsea White, Christina Kinnan, and Liz Coe, have declined an offer to return with, according to the sources, the production is now interviewing new writers and will be in compliance with the Guild. As for White, Kinnan, and Coe, all three writers were visible and vocal in their protest during the show's initial return to production in mid-September. The trio of women who shared the title co-head writers and have been with the series since season 1 could be seen picketing outside of Drew's Manhattan studio on multiple days with signs that read, "Honk if you love union labor," or "Drew's News Strikes." On September 11th, which was the show's first day back in production, they told THR that they'd found out Drew was returning not from their boss or colleagues, but rather via audience ticket giveaways that had been posted on social media. It is a bummer to hear that the show is going back because it sends a message that union writers are not valuable, White told THR that morning. Kinnan added, "I understand that everybody has to do what feels best for them. For me and the WGA writers on the show, it's important for us to stick with our union. We deserve a fair contract, so we are here today outside." Asked at that time whether they planned to return to the show once the strike was resolved, White simply said, "Maybe, no comment." While controversial, Barrymore's initial decision to return without her writing staff did not violate SAG-AFTRA rules. As a SAG-AFTRA rep stated at the time, the Drew Barrymore Show is produced under the Network Television Code, which is a separate contract and is not struck. It is permissible work, and Drew's roles as host does not violate the current strike rules. Nevertheless, Barrymore preemptively defended the decision to bring her show back in a now famous September 10th social media post, which quickly made her a target. "I own this choice," she wrote at the time, reminding her legions of fans that she had made a very difficult choice back in May when she bowed out of her hosting duties at the MTV Movie and TV Awards. In solidarity with the WGA, Barrymore ended up winning Best Host that evening, for which she submitted a pre-recorded acceptance speech in which she name-checked White, Kinnan, and Coe, whom she called our amazing, amazing writer. She added, "This is definitely for them and every single person who makes this show." The three have also earned 2 Emmy nominations for their writing contributions to the show. After mounting blowback, however, Barrymore's updated fans on September 17th, "I've listened to everyone and I am making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over," she wrote, adding, "I have no words to express my deepest apologies to anyone I have hurt, and of course to our incredible team who works on the show and has made it what it is today." A spokesperson for the show, along with White, Kinnan, and Coe, declined to comment for the story. So I want to say, though, I mean, Drew Barrymore did the right thing. She she decided to not move forward with the strikes, and I just think that's going to be a good lesson in the future. I think if there's ever another writer's strike, which I feel like one's probably going to happen every 20 years. I think the last one happened in the 2000s, which it was around when The Office was airing, early episodes of The Office, because you always hear a bunch of things about because of the writer's strike or whatever. But yeah, so I think just Drew Barrymore is going to be an example in the future of what happens. If you want to scab or be a scab, and stuff like that. I never understood how people, if I got a job, I mean, there's not a lot of jobs I'd go to and be a scab. I don't think there's any jobs. And the thing is with the scab part of it, it's not like you're going to get paid more than what they're making. You're going to make less than what they're making. So it's why are you wasting your time and energy being a scab just because I don't know, you're definitely not going to get paid as much as the people striking are. So what's the whole point? So, I stand with the writers, I stand with the actors. I'm like, that's nothing because, if you need more convincing, all I'll say is the human brain has a hard time, like, understanding the concept of a billion of anything, like it's just such a big number that humans just humans just don't know how to like fully process that, have that big of a number and stuff like that. So I usually stick with the artists and not the people who are hoarding all the money. But also I'm going to be interested in like these three writers because I don't know, that this doesn't feel like that good of a look to me. And, and that's the thing with the being, I'm just going to relate it to music real quick and playing music. Like, there are millions, maybe even the B word, billions of guitar players out there. And, and I got to say, probably most of them are just as good as me. And so it's like, yeah, I can easily be replaced. Like, at the end of the day, the qualities I have technically are replaced. Like, me as a human can't be replaced, but like your creative, like they're always gonna be able to hire new writers for this show. So it's like, and they're trying to get on another show. Like, they get lucky enough to get on another show, which I would say, yeah, they're probably qualified for. But there's so many other writers in Hollywood, like just waiting for their chance, And so you either gotta take opportunities or you don't. Or, some people would like to say,
Man proposes and God disposes.
FNX Fitness, the ultimate destination for fitness enthusiasts looking to reach their peak performance and achieve their health goals. Are you tired of the same old fitness routines that leave you feeling uninspired and unmotivated? Look no further than FNX Fitness, where they bring a fresh and innovative approach to your fitness journey. At FNX Fitness, they believe that true fitness goes beyond just physical strength. It's about nourishing your body and mind and soul to unlock your full potential. That's why they offer a wide range of high-quality supplements and products designed to support your active lifestyle. Fuel your workouts and enhance your recovery with the scientifically formulated supplements. From pre-workout energizers to post-workout recovery blends, FNX Fitness has you covered every step of the way. Their products are carefully crafted using premium ingredients, ensuring you get the nutrients you need to perform at your best. But FNX Fitness is more than just supplements. It's a community of like-minded individuals who share your passion for fitness and well-being. Join their supportive community and gain access to expert advice, workout tips, and motivational content that will keep you inspired and on track towards your goals. They understand that fitness is a personal journey, which is why they offer a wide range of products to cater to your individual needs. Whether you're a seasoned athlete looking to take your performance to the next level or a beginner taking your first steps towards a healthier lifestyle, FNX Fitness has the tools and resources to support you every step of the way. But don't just take my word for it. Join the thousands of satisfied customers who have already experienced the FNX Fitness difference. Transform your fitness routine and unlock your full potential with FNX Fitness. And using our code in the description, you can save 15% off your order from their website. Ready to take your fitness to the next level? Visit their website on your nearest retailer today and discover the power of FNX Fitness. Elevate your performance, fuel your passion, and become the best version of yourself with FNX Fitness. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Cash App, the easiest way to send, spend, and save money with just a few taps on your phone. Are you tired of dealing with the hassle of carrying cash or waiting in long lines at the bank? With Cash App, you can say goodbye to those inconveniences and hello to a seamless financial experience. Sending money to friends and family has never been easier, whether you're splitting the bill at dinner, paying your share of rent, or simply sending a birthday gift. Cash App lets you transfer money instantly, directly from your bank account. No need to worry about writing checks or handling physical cash anymore. But Cash App doesn't stop there. It's complete financial ecosystem right at your fingertips. Use the app to easily pay for your morning coffee, groceries, or even your monthly subscriptions. With just a simple scan or tap, you can make purchases at millions of locations, both online and offline. And here's the best part. Cash App helps you save money too. With its innovative Boost feature, you can unlock exclusive discounts and cashback rewards at popular retailers, restaurants, and even your favorite services. It's like having your own personal saving assistant, always looking out for the best deals. Worried about security? Cash App has you covered. With top-notch encryption and advanced security features, your financial information is always protected. Plus, if you have ever had any question or concerns, Capshap's dedicated customer support team is available 24/7 to assist you. So why wait? Join millions of satisfied users and experience the convenience, speed, and savings that Cash App brings to your financial life. Download the app today from your app store and start spending and saving money like never before. Luckily, the best part is, if you sign up using the link in the description, you get a free $5 just for signing up. That's literally just free money. So join Cash App today. The future of money is here. And when you use our links, you directly support this show. All right, so Ahsoka, the show on Disney Plus, just finished, and that means I have to talk about it now. That's the rule. That is the rule that I have to follow. So, yeah, it's been it was. I generally think the reaction I want to give you, like, what's the best way for me to describe to you what the Ahsoka show was like? And I gotta say, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. It's just that good. It's just chef's kiss good of a show. And it was really good. The biggest what I want to say, probably the biggest complaint that not only I have, but I feel like even more people watching the show had as well, was just like how much information you kind of needed to know going in. Because I don't know, because in my mind I feel like Star Wars, for the most part, is you shouldn't have to really know anything about Star Wars. It makes it a little bit better of an experience if you do, but for the most part I say, like, I don't feel like you have to necessarily understand or need back information or whatever, except for it's like, I don't know, maybe like The Mandalorian's probably the only one, because, the nice thing about The Mandalorian show, I think why everyone pretty much just fucking loves it, is mainly because you don't have to know anything about Star Wars to enjoy the show. Like, it's just a solid show, like, before you even go into a franchise. So that's that. So, like, you had to know, like, a ton of back information. Like, my mom wanted to watch it with me. I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. You have to understand storylines between two animated shows, okay? So you got two animated shows. Like, maybe you don't probably have to watch every Clone Wars episode, but, like, you have to watch at least Ahsoka's storyline. And then, once you get to Rebels, like, you kind of need to know a majority of kind of what that story is, what that is about. And then, so, like, this takes place, like, 10-ish years after Rebels too. And so basically there's a lot of information you need to know beforehand. Sabine Wren, she was basically part of the Rebels crew with Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character of Hera. And, they used to be like a rebel crew, who did shit. And then they'd run into Ahsoka on their journeys. And even then, the journeys, the last season was Thrawn. And what you needed to know, something you actually really needed to know before going in, is that, one, there's a part of the Star Wars galaxy, if you even want to call it that, there's a part of that galaxy called the Unknown Region, or unknown-ish type of thing. And so, like, you have to know that. So, like, if you somehow get stranded on one of those planets, there's no one's figured out a path, because it's fucking space. Like, you can't. The fact that they even have some form of navigation in space is pretty interesting, So, yeah, so basically what happened at the end of Rebels, spoiler alert for a show that's been out for a long time, Ezra Bridger, who is in this show, uses space whales called Purgle to trap Thrawn in his ship, the Chimera, and they get yeeted to the unknown region of, like, the galaxy. And so it's been like 10 years since this happened. People were like, is Thrawn dead? Thrawn's not going to return. Oh, we're going to try to get Thrawn to return. You heard that a little bit. The Mandalorian, second season, they brought it up. And then the third season, they were like, we need Thrawn to bring the Empire back. And so you're just like, you kind of knew, like, they were going to probably, Thrawn's coming back. And like then you saw like actual show footage, or you have Thrawn's in this show, so like you kind of kind of knew they were going to get to Thrawn, and like he wasn't dead, but like or missing, but he was just missing and didn't know how to get back. So that's like stuff you needed to know. So like Hera's now a general and had a kid with another Jedi, which she's one of those like ear tentacle aliens, and I'm just happy Star Wars finally confirmed that you can fuck those things. So like if you're attracted to first, and it's also Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which we're gonna get into. Fucking Ramona, you put Ramona Flowers in this show. So yeah, so that's like background information you need to know, and you're not even considering the world between worlds, understanding that concept. What am I looking at? Trying to remember. I put in my notes. The Mortis gods. Like you had to know the Mortis gods, and even like there's a story there, and that's like Clone Wars and Rebels, so much fucking stuff. So like you had to know a lot of stuff to go in, and I think that was the real like negative about this show, is that going into it, like you had to already know so much background information, where where like if let's see, like we're watching Mandalorian, or even like watching Boba Fett. Like if you've never seen anything and just started watching the Book of Boba Fett, you would obviously see he was trapped in the Sarlacc pit, and then he was able to get himself out. And you see that journey from there. And we're in like if you're a Star Wars fan, you're like, oh, that's Boba Fett from the movies, and then you're watching it. If you just started watching Boba Fett, you're like, okay, this makes clear backstory. So. Stuff like that. That's the interesting start. But let's go into it. I'm going to try to summarize this show, or at least what happens. I wrote down like a synopsis of every episode. So, like the first episode, you're introduced into Baylan Skoll, played by Ray Stevenson. Rest in peace. Like he fucking killed it on this role. And so they mentioned like he was a former Jedi. And like throughout the show, like you want to know more of his backstory, and there is none. All you know is that he was a Jedi. He survived Order 66. He's not necessarily a Jedi anymore, but he is Force sensitive. His lightsaber's kind of orangish red, so like maybe he's not all bad, and all that stuff. And they just show they're badass. They like get Morgan Elsbeth who was in The Mandalorian season 2, that episode with Ahsoka. And so they come back, and so I guess, Ahsoka gets like this star map thing that leads you to Peridia. This is the planet that Thrawn and Ezra are on. And so she gets this map, and then she needs Sabine's help to get it, and then Sabine gets stabbed by a lightsaber, which I feel like Qui-Gon could have survived it then, And then how like you watch like the Rise of Skywalker, and you're just like, oh, force healing's now a thing? Where the fuck was this when Qui-Gon was a thing? And then you're like, so Qui-Gon got stabbed and died, but Darth Maul got cut in half and survived. So, Star Wars logic. Obviously, somehow Palpatine returned, obviously, stuff like that. So, yeah, then she gets stabbed and they get the map. And so, even though Sabine solved the puzzle with, I don't know, and stuff like that. So, going to the star map. So then, they gotta bring the map to a planet called Cetos, and there's a lot of water, very appropriately named. So I just wanted to say that Cetos, very appropriately named. Like these first 2 episodes, they're really just giving you like backstories, and it's kind of slow. And I was like, I just Secret Invasion just ended, and I was already like, I'm still mad at that show. And so like you get there, and now they're trying to decipher this map or something like that. So they have to do it on Cetos. I don't know. And eventually Ahsoka decides that like, yeah, I'm gonna bring back Sabine as my apprentice, which they don't explain till the very last episode, that after the siege of not the siege of Mandalore, the one where they just like fucking wrecked, the Empire just wrecked the planet. What Din Djarin always has to deal with, always is talking about. Ahsoka was worried that she was going to join the dark side, so that's like the story there. So that's why they stopped. But yeah, I guess they're that. So then they decide to team up so they can at least stop Morgan Elsbeth. And their initial idea was like, hey, even if this means we never see Ezra again, we got to make sure Thrawn can't come back into this universe. You know, and it's always surprising, like, just like with Thrawn, that's always interesting. No one just comes up to a lightsaber and just like fucking, you know, makes sure he's dead, you know? Kind of in the Star Wars universe, you really need to make sure someone's dead before you're just like walking away. I know technically the rule is like the Force decides whether you live or die or should, you know, or something like that. That's why Obi-Wan didn't necessarily kill Anakin on, not Mordor, I'm fucking saying Mordor, his fucking lava planet. You know, I'll think of it later. So then they eventually, you know, get this plan. And then we get to episode 3. And that's when it goes from 0 to 60. Just like, boom, just very fast. And just shows just so fucking good. That's when this show starts getting good. Like, Sabine fights Shin Hati. And appropriately, is it Shin Hati? Yeah. Or no, it's just Hati. Or, yeah, it's Shin Hati. Hati, appropriate last name. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. Eventually, you know, they fight, and it turns out Merrick was a character, and it was just a dark force witch magic or something like that, you know. And that's also something like Dathomir, like, you know, that's a backstory on Star Wars. You like, it's only in the Clone Wars. Like it's weird. A lot of these Clone Wars concepts, you're just like, you know, that's just, you know, it's a cartoon, you know, and then now it's like brought to like live action. So that's always really cool. They had like this thing called the Eye of Sion. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings, you know, feeling in this, you know. So like the Eye of Sion, and that allows you to it helps you to travel. It's once they have the map, they can travel. You know, they can travel there. So and they just hook up the ship, and they just go yeet all the way there. So, you know, that's very interesting. And at that point, you know, I think this is where the show gets like really good. Ahsoka was fighting Baylan Skoll, and then I guess, you know, I'm not saying she was beaten. She was just, he got the upper hand, you know, kind of thing. And so then Ahsoka falls into the water. And out of nowhere, you learn that she is now in the world between worlds, which is a concept I don't want to get into, but it's like we're all I'll summarize it. It's all time and space. This exists outside of that, you know? And so being in this world, you can access any point of time or in space, you know, whenever you want. That's like a very easy summary of like what we're talking about. And so anyways, though, in the world between worlds, we get to see Anakin Skywalker, horribly de-aged and everything, you know, and that was a great like cliffhanger, like, oh, and then the next week they pay that shit off. And you get this whole almost like Ahsoka episode where she goes like her first battle, you know, and it really makes you question, like, you know, when you watch like anything Clone Wars related, you know, Star Wars wise, like you see it and you're like, Jedis aren't supposed to be soldiers, right? Like, you know, from all they sound like, you know, they're supposed to be peacekeepers and, you know, not soldiers, you know, which is like, you know, like, the very interesting thing, like, you know, Ahsoka grew up, you know, like she was one of them Jedis that like was taken away from their families really young, and so she grew up and like, aren't we supposed to be peacekeepers? But Anakin, you know, obviously wasn't taken young. He was taken when he was like 10 or something, and like, you know, they didn't even want to train him at that point. But then he figured it out, and so the life he knows is being a soldier, but like an actual Jedi is not a soldier. So overall, you know.
Cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
So anyways, though, they have a whole thing. So they go back to her first battle, you know, and then they go to the Siege of Mandalore, and then Ahsoka and Anakin fight. But it's like Anakin turns into Darth Vader. Darth Vader, if he never got his ass whoop on Mustafar. I remember the name. What can we do? What can we do to celebrate? There we go. So it's like, you lack conviction. I'm like, oh my God. Hayden Christensen came back prepared. Like he came prepared. Amazing performance. And it was like, it's a good way to put him into the show too, because and this is the first time live, like even like Ahsoka live action is still fairly recent. Like, and then now you realize you get to see Anakin and Ahsoka live action on the screen together. So that's always super cool. And you guys here are both old and young. So, anyways, and I gotta say, young Ahsoka, she looks a lot older. She looks like she's 20. Am I wrong? She looks like she's like 20 in the cartoon, but then like when they had the live action kid play Ahsoka, it looked like an actual kid. So that's always weird. But like, I guess that's it's called Jedi therapy. So after Jedi therapy, Ahsoka is able to use the Force to jump into a purgle, which are these whales that can jump to light speed or whatever. And because they know Ezra went the path of the purgle, so then like they're like, okay, this will lead us to where we need to go, and that'll help us find Sabine and everything else from there. So so they get into the mouth of a whale, and then they get going, and then part 6 is where we get to it. We have these Dathomir witches, the Night Sisters are what they're called. And then Thrawn comes back and you get introduced on. And I gotta say, like, even someone who didn't really pay attention to Rebels, like, they got it right. They got Thrawn right. Like, and I was worried, like, the CGI, like, the blue skin was gonna look a little too weird, but overall, it wasn't that bad to look at. I think it's nice because it's like humanoid alien, but it needs to look human, but it has blue skin. They did a great job. I think they did better than on She-Hulk, but I think maybe with Lars Mikkelsen or whatever, maybe they used the blue band they used for like Gamora and Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. So it's interesting, but so they have like cargo or something like that we all thought was like dead people's bodies that they're going to reanimate or something like that. I don't know. They never really explained what the cargo was, but it was going to take them 3 rotations, which I feel like means 3 days in space talk. And so like they have time to kill. And so then Balin goes on his own mission and he wants to kill Ahsoka and Sabine, but all of that. And then he has his own mission. Something's calling to him on Peridia and stuff like that. And then, obviously through the art of making things convenient, Sabine finds Ezra, and they did a good job. And Ezra wasn't too annoying. He was kind of annoying in Rebels, but like he's not that. But Ezra kind of, I don't know, defeats the purpose a lot of Luke Skywalker, But I guess Ahsoka also is not very good. I guess a lot of people are in the mindset that when Order 66 happened, only 2 Jedi survived, Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I think, a purge like that, I don't know, with like a bunch of skilled fighters, like, I don't know. To me, it's like, it does make more sense that like how many Jedis they had at that academy and shit like that. Like, not all those Jedis could have died. Like, a lot of them had to have survived, and then you lose the Grand Inquisitors are technically possibly former Jedi and shit like that. So, stuff like that. Anyways, though, I guess they get into little shenanigans with these like people who live in shells. Did I write the name of the did I write the name of the creatures he lives with? Noti. The Noti. They look like they're like it was like Frog and Toad. Like it looks like they're just straight out of those stories. Also maybe a little Wes Anderson, It was really cool. I always think like Disney Plus Star Wars, even I'll even say the sequel trilogy, they've really done well at like the visuals of it, like, because obviously the late 70s, early 80s when the first movies came out, and they were, restricted by the technology of the time. Then the prequel trilogy too much CGI, way too much, and it feels it makes it feel very disconnected because it feels like things are more like tech is more advanced in the past than it is in the future, which is not how the world works. And so, Disney's been doing a good, like, even split, in between, like, yeah, we're going to use CGI and we're going to use technology that makes our lives easier, but also at the same time, we're going to make it look like it can fit well with the old movies, or I guess both for the most part. So, always the interesting stuff there. They're getting ready and, I guess beef continues to happen, I guess there's a everyone's reunited. Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine are all, reunited. Cool stuff, which one,
Cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff.
And now they have a plan. They end at like episode 7, with like, let's get off this planet. And you're like, huh? Are they going to take their ship? It does seem weird, like with Ahsoka taking that, like they couldn't have like tracked her how she moved or whatever, I don't know. Something similar like that. I feel like there's easy ways to get off. And so final episode happened. Morgan Elsbeth gets like an upgrade in her powers and gets the Mother Talzin's blade, which is important if you watch the Clone Wars. And if not, you do not give a shit. And so they have a plan. They're going to try and, at least board the ship. And that way when they get yeeted off the planet, and they're going to be able to make it back home or whatever, or take down Thrawn or do what they need to do, for the most part. And and they made a really good distraction. It gets to the point where Ezra is on the ship, but Sabine stayed back with Ahsoka to help her fight. And then they're like so fucking close to the ship, like, getting close to it. And then Thrawn's like, stop. I'm doing something. And he's like, I need to talk to him. It's like, Thrawn, you're like, shouldn't we just like yeet out of here so they don't catch us? You're like, no, I need to talk to him first. And then he just brags like, well, you guys lose. And then they yeet it out of there. I'm like, style. So the show ends. Ahsoka and Sabine are stranded on Peridia, but they also have the David Tennant robot. So who's the real loser here? But yeah, at least they have lightsabers, so that's cool. Like Ezra didn't have a lightsaber when he was there, so shit like that. So yeah, that's it. That's Ahsoka. That's summing up Ahsoka. I do want to say, for the most part, I think Star Wars has too many mediums, okay? So, like, I don't know, when Disney bought Star Wars and they decided to kind of reset the canon for the most part, where they're like, okay, the only things that are canon right now, the original 6 movies and the Clone Wars animated series. And it's like, okay, the Clone Wars, like, it was underrated at the time. I think people like it a lot more now, for the most part. So like that, it's like, oh, you just had to watch the Clone Wars, and like you didn't have to watch all the Clone Wars. You could like Google arcs in the Clone Wars and just watch those episodes. And none of those episodes are in order either. So it's just kind of like stories in between episodes 2 and 3. And that's what it is for the most part. But since then they've, Disney has added on a lot to the Star Wars lore. So they made books, too many goddamn fucking books, comic books, they've added more TV shows, animated and live action, and they've also added video games, which also count towards the canon as well, for the most part, from what I believe Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, maybe not Star Killer, Force Unleashed, maybe, I'm not entirely sure with that. I don't even know how many of the games are technically canon, but there's just like so many mediums now. It's like there's a trilogy novel about Thrawn. It's like I need to read, and to understand. I'm like, I need to read. I've already talked about this, but like I need to read 3 books to understand what the fuck is going on. Like, come on, I need to read all these comics, and for the most part, a lot of these comics and these books are better stories to put on the big screen, or even for TV. Even animated. I'd rather have it animated, live action, or a movie. Like, that's all I really want Star Wars to be, because it's just like there's like a comic story where it's like how Kylo Ren joined the Knights of Ren. It was like he killed one of them or something like that, or he defeated one of them in battle, and he got the rank, and eventually after he had to leave Luke, he went to the Knights of Ren. So I'm like, that would have been cool in the goddamn fucking sequel movies, But no, he had to leave that for all the good storylines are in comics and fucking reading books. And for those of us who actually like watching film and TV, now we're stuck with like stories where we need to read like 5 books to like understand what's going on. So that's where I think just Star Wars in general is struggling with that. But Ahsoka was really a culprit in that. You know, a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of shows that you don't really need to know anything going in, like Andor. I mean, even us know. So remember how like they needed the plans of the Death Star, and so they got the plans of the Death Star, you know, and stuff like that. Like he was involved with that, and then you're like a prequel to that, where it's like him, you know, yada yada yada. You didn't have to know anything about Star Wars. So yeah, I think that's one thing.
This is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
Also, they should have just named this show Star Wars Hotties, because all the hot ladies in Star Wars, almost all the hot ladies in Star Wars were in this. Or it was like, so you're telling me, all right, so we're Ivana Sakno, she's Ukrainian. She's the newcomer. She seems new. And I gotta say, you watch her on screen, you're like, I don't know, something's stirring up inside me, you know, you're just one of those people. Then you had Sabine Wren, hottie, I can't remember the actress's name. Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Hera. I'm watching Star Wars for the plot. And then you learn that she had intercourse with an actual human and made a baby. And so that just doesn't that just make you feel better, you know? Knowing you can, you know, knowing that. Obviously, Rosario Dawson, stunning, you know, just, she's been stunning forever. And she's also in, like, everything. You know, she was in, like, the second Men in Black movie, I think. You know? How old those movies are, you know? Insane. Baylan Skoll's plot went nowhere. Like, you wouldn't even know about the Mortis gods. Like, you have to, like, learn, like, what the hell? Like, he's, like, looking at a statue, and you're like, okay. And, like, you have to watch, like, a couple episodes of, like, Clone Wars to understand what he's looking for, you know? Poor execution there. And Ray Stevenson also is not with us anymore, even though he, like, just fucking nailed the role. Like, so that's gonna be unfortunate. I think they should recast the character, to be honest with you. Yeah, because I'd like to see that storyline go somewhere, to be honest with you. You know, Hayden Christensen comes back, fucking nails it. Like, he just fucking nailed the role. Everyone talked about how they didn't like Hayden Christensen, and now coming back to it, I feel like he has more direction. I think he's following Sam Witwer's performance on, I think he did the voice of Anakin on the Clone Wars, and so he kind of followed his direction. It was just a more organized direction for Anakin, and, like, even Sith Anakin, good shit. Overall, I think Rotten Tomatoes, 87%, critic score, which I don't know who the critics are. You know, who are these critics? Are they actual Star Wars fans, or, you know, because they always seem to be different. And then audience score 72, so they're not too far apart, you know. Like I did say, they lost the most of the point because you had to have so much background knowledge even going into this show to even kind of understand kind of the plot threads going on to it. But, like, once you get to episode, like, 3, you're like, come on, and then you get to episode 4 and you're like, oh, yes, daddy. Oh, yes, daddy. It's so deep, daddy. I need to add the Elizabeth Amelia Clark one. So obviously I feel like they're going to have to make a season 2, because I think another thing I don't like about the show is it felt like half a story. Like, it didn't feel like a full story went by. And so, like, yeah, but I'm assuming they're making a season 2, and Dave Filoni's also setting up a Star Wars movie, which we're all hoping, and Dave Filoni better do this. This movie needs to be called Heir to the Empire. Just like the old Legends book, Heir to the Empire. It'd be the coolest shit. That'd be the coolest name. Star Wars Heir to the Empire, the movie. Bad ass. Drizly, the ultimate convenience for all your alcohol needs, delivered right to your doorstep. Tired of making last-minute trips to the liquor store or dealing with crowded aisles and long checkout lines? With Drizly, your favorite drinks are just a few taps away, making your alcohol shopping experience easier and more enjoyable than ever before. Drizly brings the liquor store to you, offering an extensive selection of beer, wine, spirits, and more. Browse their vast catalog of top-quality brands, local favorites, and specialty beverages, all conveniently organized on their user-friendly app or website. With Drizly, there's no need to leave the comfort of your home. Simply choose your favorite drinks, place your order, and let their reliable delivery partners handle the rest. Whether you're hosting a party, relaxing after a long day, or simply stocking up for the weekend, Drizly ensures that your drinks are delivered promptly and securely. But Drizly isn't just about convenience, it's about choice. Discover new flavors, explore unique craft brews, or find the perfect bottle of wine to complement your meal. With Drizly's vast selection, you have the freedom to choose exactly what you want when you want it. Worried about the hassle of age verification? Drizly has you covered. Their delivery partners are trained to ensure responsible alcohol delivery, making sure that only those of legal drinking age receive their orders. Your safety and the safety of your community is their top priority. Join the millions of satisfied customers who have already embraced the convenience and simplicity of Drizly. Say goodbye to the hassle of traditional alcohol shopping and hello to the ease of having your favorite drinks delivered to your doorstep. That's not all. Using our link in the description gives you $5 off your first order, which can greatly enhance your night, if you know what I'm saying. Ready to elevate your drinking experience? Download the Drizly app or visit our website today and experience the future of alcohol shopping. Cheers to a new way of enjoying your favorite drinks with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Honey, your ultimate online shopping companion that saves you time and money effortlessly. Are you tired of endlessly searching for coupon codes or missing out on the best deals when shopping online? Say goodbye to those frustrations and hello to Honey, the free browser extension that revolutionizes your online shopping experience. Honey is your personal shopping assistant that automatically finds and applies the best coupon codes at checkout, helping you save money with just a few clicks. No more wasted time scouring the internet for discounts. Honey does the work for you, ensuring you never miss out on a great deal again. But Honey doesn't stop at coupon codes. It goes the extra mile to ensure you get the best price possible. With Honey's innovative price history feature, you can track the price changes of your favorite products over time. This means you'll always know if you're getting the best deal or if it's better to wait for a price drop. And the best part, Honey works seamlessly with over 30,000 online retailers, including popular brands across fashion, tech, home goods, and more. Whether you're shopping for a new wardrobe, upgrading your electronics, or sprucing up your living space, Honey has your back, ensuring you get the best value for your money. Worried about privacy and security? Rest assured, Honey is committed to protecting your personal information. They never sell or share your data, and their browser extension is designed with top-notch security measures to keep your online shopping experience safe and secure. Join the millions of satisfied users like me who have already saved millions of dollars with Honey. Download the Honey browser extension today and unlock a world of savings every time you shop online. Don't miss out on an incredible deal and the chance to save money effortlessly. Experience the power of Honey and take your online shopping to a whole new level. Honey, the sweetest way to shop online. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show.
Oh no! Our table!
It's time for Oh No, Our Table, the part of the podcast where I answer questions. We're also known as Ask Schweezy, but for some reason my mouth doesn't like saying that, so we're calling it
Oh no! Our table!
So,
Let's just jump into
let's
it.
just see what we got here today. My mom caught me jerking off. What should I do? My mom caught me, LOL. What should I do? She is really liberal about that things. Okay, well, buddy, fella, you don't put your age here. I'm here to tell you that there's a couple things you can prevent that from happening again. However, though, I'm also gonna tell you this beforehand, and this also goes out to any other mothers out there, the mothers of sons, okay? Ladies, fellow mothers, if you have a son, when they get close to being a teenager, okay, they're gonna start jerking off, okay? You know what? It's gonna happen. And you can be like, not my son. I'm like, unless your son is asexual, your son's gonna be jerking off. And the thing is, it's one of those things where you're like, when you discover it, you're like, I'm gonna do this all the time. And then eventually you figure out other things you can do and get a little bored. So, At least bored enough to not jerk off all day, every day. So, yeah, but like your mom should know, and it's just something like if you have a boy, and like I think women are now understanding this a little bit more, that, yeah, boys jerk off, and it's okay. It's okay to jerk off. I don't want to hear about it, though. So, like, you have a son. He's in his room. The door is closed, okay? If you need their attention, knock on the door. If you're a mother, you need to knock on the door. And don't knock on the door, walk in. You're like, hey, can I come in? And they'll say, just a second. You're just be like, okay. And they could be naked. It could be a million things, so it doesn't have to be jerking off. So mothers should know better. I think fathers know better. And I think when dads do, we're jerking off, huh? Trying to embarrass the kid. But no, for the most part, your mom should have known better. And only make that mistake once, So I would say what you can do in the future is just lock your door. And you know what? If your mom's one of those who likes to open it, you're like, sorry, I was in the middle, I was changing, or, you can make up any fucking excuse. But you say your mom's pretty liberal, so I'm just going to assume that's the case, and you can just move on, all right? Is it odd that my boyfriend kept/stole my used panties?
What?
After leaving my boyfriend's house last week, I couldn't find my panties after getting out of bed, and I asked him specifically if he'd seen them, and he said that he didn't, so I took a shower, changed into my change of clothes, and left without that pair. How come when I went over last night, my panties were on his nightstand, and I awkwardly asked, are those my panties? I love saying panties wrong. And he said, yes, I'm sorry that I lied, but I want to keep them. And I questioned why, of course. And he said that he likes the smell of me and misses me when I'm not with him. Do men like to keep their partner's panties? I think it was odd that he didn't ask first, though, but maybe I'm overthinking. Well, one thing about, the I'm just going to say used underwear because I'm going to know I'm using panties. I'm going to be saying that, and then you guys are going to be like,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So, yeah, I don't know, there is some form of, conquest in conquering when it comes to something like that. Not that women are objects. We're not trying to talk about that. But, getting laid is something to celebrate, consensual getting laid consensually, that is something to celebrate. And women probably don't think that, but men do. It's like, I just had sex and it felt so good. That's why that song like that exists, having sex is something to celebrate. And, mementos of your victories are always something, we just like having mementos of our victories, and your panties are kind of like that. So it just kind of comes into a thing where it's like, hey, ladies, you obviously wear nice underwear, but at the same time, a guy may need to keep that as a trophy. So that I kind of wish I was one of those guys who collected panties. That'd be super fun. I think it's just weird. I just have it because I'm like, are you using it to jerk off? And I think that's kind of weird. And then, sniffing it is also kind of weird. But what gets you going. And then I thought, when COVID started, I wanted to wear one as a mask. And then fucking James McAfee? McAfee, whatever his fucking name is, stole my idea. So I was kind of upset about that. But yeah, so it is normal. Maybe just accept it. Just, you're gonna have to part ways with it, You're gonna have to part ways with that pair of underwear. So wear nice underwear that you don't mind giving away on dates, ladies. That's the real lesson here. It's like, what me just victim blaming.
This is the type of guy you get.
Is being nice a turnoff for guys? two of my female friends told me one day that you're just too nice. I never treat my guy friends like this. If you treat a guy too nicely, you will be friend zoned. They told me that guys like the chase, but am I supposed to change who I am just to make a guy like me and play the dating game? Is it true that guys like girls who are colder to them? Some guy, I mean, everyone's a little different. Like, I don't think they necessarily like guys like, I don't know, having a girlfriend who's nice, a nice person. As I realized a couple years ago, I was like, what qualities do I want in a partner? I'm like, someone who's nice to me, like that should just be number one. That should be like a number one. That shouldn't be a debatable subject. That's just life advice for everyone. That should not be a debatable thing. You're like, well, they're not nice to me, like they should be nice. If you're dating someone, they should be nice to you, okay? Unless you have a weird dynamic, but you are also nice to each other, at the same time, but you're mean to each other. But like that should be like a number one thing. And honestly though, I'm surprised this is a problem for you, because a lot of times like men will fall in love with a woman just because they're nice to them. It's the age-old game of, is she in love with me, or is she just a bartender doing her job? And most of the time it's usually the waitress is in love with you. They're always in love with you. Like I've never had any of that anything else other than that happen to me. So yeah, and especially I know women prefer. I don't know if it's necessarily, and honestly, I'm like thinking about it a little bit more. I don't think it's necessarily that we don't like it when someone is too nice. I think, because being nice to someone, I think we all like that, for the most part. It's a nice thing to have. I think it comes to a point where it's like you're a pushover. Like you could be a pushover, like, and that's usually not an attractive trait in a person. Someone who's just kind of a pushover. You kind of push them around, get them to do anything you want them to do, stuff like that. You kind of want someone who's like not necessarily independent, but like has their own thing going to them, and like has what some people would call balls, where P is stored. Like, have some balls, have some integrity, anything like that. I think you just want that. And a lot of times, like, being a pushover comes across as being nice, and it's just not an attractive quality in people for the most part. But I think when you're like, is being mean an attractive trait? No, I think we just like people with like a little bit of an attitude, I think is kind of what we're talking about here, where it's just like, you can't just kind of take advantage of them. You can't fuck around with them, like they are who they are. I have a friend whose wife will call you out on bullshit, specifically me on my bullshit, because there's a lot of it. And I'm like, I kind of like that. That's why I kind of like her, like, and stuff like that, Not like that, but, like as a friend's wife, because I'm like, I like that quality in a person, like they're just going to call you out, I'm like, you need that sometimes. But, yeah, for the most part, is being nice a turnoff for guys? No, definitely. Honestly, it's even probably a more of a positive, because you're like, oh, this chick is so nice to me. I really like this. I think they're probably what'll get you in the friend zone and stuff like that. Being a pushover, having no integrity, no balls, you don't stand up for yourself and stuff like that. I think those are necessarily more of the qualities that I would say that make you too nice and put you in like the friend zone like that. So it's not necessarily how nice of a person you are. It's more just like, oh, you're nice, and you're like, oh, you're so nice that you're worried, like, you're worried about saying no to people, so you're always going to do what they say and stuff like that. It's just kind of qualities like that, and like lack of confidence, self-esteem, honestly, for the most part. I think that's really the turnoff, and like I think that really goes for each, or every gender, all of them, all 35. No, there has to be like 41, 42 genders. I'll stop at 42. Hobby ideas for my husband who needs something to do with his hands besides his phones. My husband openly admits he's addicted to his phone. He's always fidgety and needs something to keep his hands busy, and his phone is usually the go-to option. He enjoys crossword puzzles, Candy Crush style games, and Wordle, even while we're watching a movie. While he's not really into crafts, he's willing to try new things to satisfy that need. As a kid, he used to make... sorry, I lost my spot. As a kid... he used to make paper chains for hours on end. Okay, that's a weird thing, That's a weird thing to know about your husband. He recently tried crocheting with a Woobles kit and enjoyed it, but it requires his full attention, which defeats the purpose. I hope he sticks with it and becomes more skilled. But for now, I'm looking for ideas that he can start immediately without a steep learning curve. Ideally, it should be a low-cost activity since he's quite frugal. Well, the one thing I want to tell you is a lot of you're going to be like, he tried crochet. I tried to get him into crocheting, but he wasn't into, like, bitch, do you think a guy's going to be into crocheting? Do you think any guy out there is going to be like, I just love making fucking quilts, dude. I mean, like, those guys exist, but, like, I don't know, like, if you're like, hey, there's this random guy, you need to buy a gift for him. Like, okay, I'm not going to buy him a fucking crochet. Actually, now I kind of want to do that. So, now you do that Woobles kit or something, I guess, whatever. Everything that came to my mind when reading this, it was like, things that are not stuff you should do. I'm like, drugs and alcohol. I was like, that's not a suggestion. Like, my husband's, he's really on his phone a lot, and he admitted he's a problem, so he needs something to do that'll get him off his phone. I'm like, has he tried drugs? Has he tried drugs? Because those are awesome. Has he tried alcohol? Because that's awesome. Not the next day, but it's awesome. Like, so, just like... Like, that's my first two. What's the one after that I had? Porn. I'm like, just start jerking off all the time, dude. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the phone isn't that bad of a thing. Maybe just like limiting it, like when you're watching a movie together, I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, who's on his phone? You're probably on your phone too, typing these fucking questions,
This is the type of guy you get.
So, I don't know why I'm so mean to you. I'm sorry, question asker. I'm being kind of an asshole. And so, which one should I get?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
There we go. I don't know if the phone thing's that bad. I think people can get really addicted to, like, social media, which can be, like, a real problem because it's, like, comparing yourself to others and that, like, hurts your self-esteem. But then it's, like, video games like Candy Crush or whatever. It's like, that's not that bad. I mean, if his addiction to his phone is just like he enjoys playing little games on his phone, like, he probably just wants to play video games, for the most part. So maybe a Switch or, but I know you guys are frugal, and video games will continue to cost money. So,
that's rough, buddy.
Well, maybe try out the drugs and alcohol thing. Maybe that'll give him something. You're just like, my phone. He just wants to do something about this. Has he tried drinking and shit?
I like that.
All right, what's the craziest thing you did as a teenager? I was thinking about, like, this story that happened the other. I guess it came up the other day in therapy, but so when I was like middle school, I was the biggest shit. Oh, man. So I'm just going to, like, think about stories I went to middle school. When I was in 7th grade, I had, like, all my teachers were, like, conservative for some reason. I don't know. And it's, like, it's nothing wrong with, like, your political views or whatever. But, like, when it, like, comes up in class, like I had a teacher's like, I don't like it that people are on welfare, and shit like that. I'm like, buddy, this is 7th grade science class, okay? None of us know what welfare is, okay?
Let's go full throttle.
And then, and so, like, you could play about that. And then the biggest little thing I did there was, like, we had to take, like, fucking, it wasn't even English. It was, who taught my English class? Maybe it was English, but it had a lot of reading involved in, yeah, I think it was just an English class. The teacher was also very conservative, and for some reason we were talking about flag burning. I don't know how, we're not even fucking reading stories together in class. We're just like, okay, let's talk about flag burning for some dumb fucking reason. And so then I said, yes, I very much approve of flag burning. I guess they were trying to have a conversation or whatever. Me as a little shit, and I'll just talk about how important it is, like your First Amendment right and shit like that. You know, and then I think about it now. I'm like, would I ever burn a flag, like do flag burnings now? No, like I do kind of like living in the United States, so it's not like necessarily something like, you know, we have our problems, but you know, we're getting closer to be able to smoke weed anywhere. So like we're getting close. We're getting. I think we're either we're getting better and worse all at the same time. And so like the idea of like burning a flag would be like, okay, I have to go somewhere. This is like before like the internet. And I didn't even have a driver's license. I was in the 7th grade. I have to like walk somewhere, buy an American flag, walk back home, get a fire going. And if you don't know, I feel like when you're in the 7th grade, you don't just have materials to build a bonfire or any sort of fire. Like you can find a lighter or something to light, like a candle or something like that, and burn a flame. I'm like, I would not do that. I don't care. It's not a lot of things I care about that much. I would no product out there I dislike so much that I would go out, buy it, and then destroy it. You know, it's just not me. You know, it's not me.
This is the type of guy you get.
Not the type of guy you're getting. But one of my favorite stories, I'm just looking back at. There's a couple of them, but actually I have 2 more. I'm gonna say 2 more. The first one's short. We had a teacher in the 8th grade who was a pervert. He would like drop pencils and make girls pick them up and something like that. I've been thinking about like trying to go back and see anything, and so it was like near the end of the school year, in an English class, and like some reason these classrooms were connected together, not like through the hallway, but like they were just together. And those teachers would just goof off all the time and do nothing. They just hand out worksheets and do nothing. Shit teachers, okay? So these aren't good teachers anyway. So like one's like creepy to girls, and the other one was just kind of an asshole who didn't do shit. So, anyways, though, we were supposed to write a letter to a teacher who meant a lot to us, or like whatever. And so I decided, as a little shit, I would write one to said teacher who is creepy around little girls. And so I wrote him like, I'll always remember your class with how you would ask young girls to bend over and pick up pencils for you, how you were looking at porn on your computer. All true stories, by the way. Looking at porn on your computer, playing video games while you're supposed to be working. That's why you're my favorite teacher. Shit like that. Dude, this dude was an asshole, so don't feel bad for him, okay? And then I got sent to the office. I got in trouble. And like I'm looking back at it now, I'm like, okay, a student wrote a paper about how a teacher is displaying pedophile behaviors, and you don't investigate that. You go directly to like, all right, we need to punish this kid, you know? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it was worth. I got detention or whatever. But the grand finale involves this same teacher, and I need to see if they're even still like around, you know? He like, I don't know, there was another teacher too that was a woman, and so like it was Valentine's Day, so I was like sent this other teacher like a bouquet of flowers from this other teacher. Not necessarily the coolest, but this dude was an asshole and deserved it. Like I said, drop pencils and ask little girls to pick them up for him, okay? I was a witness in this class, so like I said, I got detention I got a couple nights of detention from that one, from that little move. And it was funny, because I was like, it was also at lunchtime, they were sitting next to each other eating, 2 teachers sitting, and then they're just like ganging up on a fucking kid who outsmarted them and made them just like, they played themselves.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So just the funniest fucking shit, dude. I'm just like looking back now as an adult too, and like also I remember telling a friend the letter story, and it was like, she was like, wait, you wrote, the principal of the school, like the administration of the school, saw that you wrote a joke letter about a teacher doing pedophilic behaviors, and they did nothing about it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of why like the world is the way it is today. You know, that's why the world sucks, because, you know, it's one thing, like, I feel like we just want everyone to have accountability at the end of the day, and this teacher didn't get any account. He might have gotten fired. I don't know. He should have been fired, dude. Just a fucking creepy dude. He was also an asshole, so, like, it does, you know, I have to mention that because I don't want like kids being like dicks to teachers who don't deserve it, you know. But like this teacher had beef with me, dude. I was 14, so to be young again. All right. Am I the reason that I keep getting cheated on? I'm a 22-year-old male who has experienced cheating in most of my relationships, except for one. I consider myself a 7 out of 10 in terms of look, with a height of 5'10" and weighing 225 pounds. Oh, you're Donald Trump's weight. I shave my head due to thinning hair and receding hairline since high school. I have blue eyes, a short red beard, and take good care of myself. Personality-wise, I'm above average with a dark and witty sense of humor. I'm a Gryffindor and Capricorn. Thank you for telling me you're a Capricorn. And I enjoy anime, Star Wars, Harry Potter, and playing video games. I serve in the National Guard once a month. Money isn't an issue as I have a good job, and I'm also well endowed. Really? Really? Come on.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Really? I don't believe when someone says they're well endowed. I don't believe it. When someone says their dick is small, it's usually bigger than you think it is. Well endowed. However, I can't understand why I keep getting cheated on. It feels like I'm the problem, even though I believe I'm a good partner and have been told I make a great dad. Any thoughts? I prioritize the preference of my date when I'm planning a first outing and treat the women in my life well. I remember important dates and give thoughtful gifts, including writing poems. I spend quality time with my partner, engaging in activities they enjoy, like watching TV, movies, playing board games, or participating in their hobbies. I have a high sex drive and frequently initiate sexual activity. I'm not reading the rest of this. The only downside is that my demanding work schedule leaves me a limited time to send. Okay. Why do you get cheated on? So there's probably too many reasons. First of all, being a guy and mentioning it's like, I am a Gryffindor and a Capricorn. I'm like, I don't know. I'm making some guesses about your personality right now that you are kind of a pushover. So it looks like definitely women are taking advantage of you, dude. Of course I don't know, but like the fact that you're like, I'm a Capricorn, you know, I just be like this, already tells me you're not that smart of a person. Like, you know, when people like, there's some people who's like, oh, that's what my horoscope says. That's neat, you know, that's interesting. There's some people who are way into it. It's like, it's Aries season or Aries season or whatever. It's Capricorn season. I'm like, okay, like you believe made up things are the reason for your dumbass personality, dude. So I already know, like, personality-wise, I'm above average, and then you say you're a Capricorn. I'm like, I don't think your personality is above average. If anything, it's below average, okay? You might even hit average. You know, average is the middle, right? And, you know, 50% isn't passing a test, you know? Life be like that, you know? Anyways, though, so yeah, it sounds like you're kind of a little bitch. Have you tried beating the shit out of these women for when they cheat on you? No, don't do that. That's horrible. Do not do that. I don't know, though. Don't women like a little bit of fear? Like, they like being a little bit afraid of their partner? Like, that's normal, right? Yeah, it sounds like you are... I'm sorry. I'm being mean to everyone today. I don't know what's gotten into me. Sounds like you're kind of a little bitch. And yeah, it's honestly though, realistically, there's probably you're attracting a type of woman who will cheat on you. The best thing I would say next time you get into a relationship, I think it's a good question to ask. Have you ever cheated on anyone? Because a lot of times, I think a lot of times asking that question is like, yeah, I have cheated in the past, but you know, some people will show with their actions like, I'm never going to do that again. And some people just show them like, I have cheated in the past, but it was not a good idea, you know, or something like that. Sometimes people say that and they're like, yeah, I'm going to cheat again too. This is the
type of guy you get.
So, and I'm guessing you're not well endowed too. If you're well endowed, I'm saying, if you're well endowed, okay, you're not going to get cheated on in every relationship, okay? That's not how it is. That's just how life is, okay? So, what am I going to say here? And this was the...
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God. All
right, well, I think we're finally made to our last question.
help me figure out how to get over my ex. After getting married, there were several instances of tension and miscommunication between my ex-wife and me. She became distant and depressed during our honeymoon, and when I tried to include her in activities, she reacted aggressively. We had arguments and hurtful exchanges, leading me to suggest an annulment. She then left for a month, leaving me to take care of the pets. When she returned, she spent excessive time at the gym, started flirting with other men. The final straw came when she slept with someone else during our break. Attempts at reconciliation failed and the relationship ultimately ended. I have since tried dating and self-improvement, but I'm still struggling with the aftermath. Any insight or advice would be appreciated. All right, so you're just trying to get over your ex, which, you know, happens to. And, like, there's no, like, surefire way to do it. I think a lot of times it does come down to science. I think something I learned is, like, memories are, like, it's something like when you think about a memory, it's almost like you paste or like put like a piece of tape on top of it, and it's like almost a new memory, you know, from something you remember that happened. So like the more you think about a memory, you know, the more your brain's able to process it, and then eventually one day you're like, I don't care for that bitch anymore. I do think of probably a wife. Dude, this sounds like you definitely got bamboozled there.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Sounds like you married. Sounds like she wasn't a bitch till she said I do. So, like that. So yeah, I think it's just a lot of times it's just time, and a lot of things. You know, I feel like it's not your fault. You know, so the nice thing is with it not being your fault is that you can say it's something wrong with her, because like if you get married, you go on your honeymoon. She becomes distant, depressed, and angry. Like, that's her, you know? She doesn't know how to control her emotions. Now, you could be lying to me and missing the whole thing, but yeah, it's just going to take time, and pretend like she's the problem. Because it could be that she is, and it could be that you're lying to me. And, yeah, so.
Let's go full throttle.
And with all that being said, and that's how we're ending today's episode of Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Thank you so much for checking it out. Dry Spell, my song, out now wherever you stream music at. My social media under TheSchweezy. Check out our Cash App, Patreon. We do have Patreon still. Cash App and PayPal to help us out. Subscribe to the show on YouTube and share those highlights and reels and everything else with your friends. And if you're on an audio platform, give us a review and give us a 5, 4, or 3, 2, or 1 star ratings. So always remember,
Man proposes and God disposes.
honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome. I've been going through a dry spell, not spending my time, well, I overthink. I wanna go back to better nights, kissing girls who look nice under the sheets. I got no motivation, I've been self-medicating. I don't know how to get better, I guess it's now or never. I think it's time for a comeback. These last few years have been wasted away. This dry spell's making it difficult for things to ever change. I've been going through a dry spell, sleeping in a hotel all by myself. I don't wanna miss my past loves, cause they only come up when I'm alone. And I have no serotonin, I'm just drinking alone, and I don't know how to get better, I guess it's now or never. I think it's time for a comeback. These last few years have been wasted away. This dry spell's making it difficult for things to ever change. Thank you for tuning in to Cancel Schweezy, the Lord's trademark favorite podcast, and joining me on this incredible journey. I hope you've enjoyed the valuable insights and engaging discussion I brought to your ears. To ensure you never miss an episode, hit that subscribe button now. By subscribing, you'll receive automatic updates whenever we release new content, keeping you in the loop with the latest episodes and topics. Subscribing not only guarantees that you'll never miss a beat, but also helps support our show. Your subscription plays a crucial role in helping us continue to bring you high quality content and maintain our podcast growth. So whether you're listening on your favorite podcast platform or watching our YouTube channel, take a moment to click that subscribe button. Join our community of passionate listeners and be part of the journey. Personally, I appreciate your support, and together, we can make this podcast even better. So don't wait any longer. Hit that subscribe button now and stay connected with us. Thank you for being part of our podcast family.